you need to have a lot of money before you start playing in the capital markets. That's not true. As a newbie coming into investments, speak with someone.
Somebody said it's better for you to be putting your money small instead of putting 1 billion naira. Bam.
There is wisdom in that statement.
Okay.
There's big wisdom there. The most important skill sets you should have in engaging capital markets is financial literacy. It's knowledge.
Now, what mindset shift do people need if they truly want long-term financial growth? Welcome back to Signals on 91.3. This morning we'll be looking at my people in the office called it investment banking. Me and Jerry, we decided that we need to make our money work for us this morning. I have with me the managing director, investment banking at Zcrest Group, with over a decade of experience spanning infrastructure, finance, mergers and acquisitions, and corporate advisory. He served on different financial advisory and debt solutions at different banks. But there's something that has been I was reading it and I was like, this person has just been vice president. Now he has now become the commander-in-chief of finance, right? And you're going to be sharing with us this morning how to make money work for us. I have with me Ademola Akogun. Welcome to Signals on 91.3.
It's nice to be with you today.
Okay.
Good morning, Oshodi.
Like I said, we're going to war. The word I'm talking about, just calm down, breathe. And the word we're talking about is money. Everybody knows that ego kudi is very, very important. And when we talk about investment banking, some say, I think this was 2 weeks ago, I was discussing with someone and I said, investment banking. And the man said, all of those people, they are thieves. I said, so here's the thing, is I'm an older person, right? And when an older person tells you all of those people are thieves, you're wondering, bros, now, but it's not like that. And then what it then occurred to me is a lot of times we don't understand investment. What the general populace understand is, okay, Ajo, you want to put your money aside, cooperative, and it's not. And then sometimes the greed factor is the MMM part, where we just want to put our monies where we just want to collect it immediately, right? But how do we? And so we're going to walk us through investment, making our money work for us, and because you'll be following money. What is it with money that gets to you?
Okay, thank you so much, Oshodi. I don't think I'm the only one following money.
No, you are following the risk. You have a high risk appetite to some good what they say. Go ahead.
Great. So I'll put it this way, and the financial services space is very broad. Okay. Within what investment banking is, there's this misconception, and people generally may not be able to separate stockbroking from asset management, from investment banking, from trustee, and several other players within the capital markets. So if I pick investment banking first, what investment banking is really is it sits more within the issuing house function, where as advisors we bring companies to the capital market to raise money. The companies use that money to create value within the business, and at the end of the day, say at the end of a financial year, they give dividends back to investors, the stock prices appreciate, and that's where your money works for you. So think about capital market investments as an opportunity to sit at home and let your money be in those big companies. Like someone would always say, it's a very familiar person that I listen to once in a while. She said that if you eat a particular product a lot, make sure you have shares in that company. So that you are not just eating the product, your money is also in there. If you
use a particular network, let your money be in that network.
You said it, I didn't say it. So yes, so that pretty much is where about a third of what investment banking is capital markets on the equity side, then also on the debt side. On the debt side is bonds, commercial papers, and some other non-typical instruments like sukuk, infrastructure bonds, and whatnot. So as against equities, these are fixed income instruments, meaning from day one you know what you get out with. It tells you you're getting so returns over a definite period. Their fixed income is that's what fixed means. You know what you're getting the day you go into the instrument. So I know generally in the capital market space, there's been a lot of commercial paper issuances, and these are opportunities for retail investors, HNIs, and even corporates to make their money work.
For them.
For them. Yeah.
Okay, so let's look at. So this first 10 minutes will be about educating the audience before we now go into the. If I have 20 million, what will my 20 million do for me? Wait first. Now, what does commercial paper look like? What does equity look like? Investment means that, okay, so I want to invest my money, right? So let's, when you are going on a date with somebody, you and I are on a date this morning. So we have to look at this rice is going to be nice, or dirty rice, or village rice. So let's split that rice
up a bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So equities, as simple as it goes, it's everything you would see on the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Okay.
And that's as simple as it goes. The basic way to explain equities is stocks, shares of mature businesses that are now listed on the exchange for retail investors, qualified institutional investors, for general public really to be a part, to put their money in those companies. So when you pick up your newspaper or you read some of the news feeds, you see they say share price has gone up, this one has come down. So those are equities. So when you hear shares really is a share of the company. So the company is a pie, then you get a share of it.
Large pie, no?
Yeah. So that's what equities mean. For fixed income, on the other hand, so I think you touched on commercial papers.
Yes.
So commercial papers are short-term instruments. The longest tenure for commercial paper, and I think that only recently increased, is 364 days. Just short of 365. So
1 day less.
364 days. Commercial papers try to support companies to raise capital required for. It's called working capital. Monies that you need to quickly use to make your operations keep going. So it's always something that circles in and out within 364 days. So you have tenors as short as 180 days, you have tenors 270 and 364 days. So it's commercial paper is a fixed income instrument. So you know what you're getting into from the one. You hear it's been issued at a certain price, 23%, and you can easily walk back and say, if I put so amount in here, I get 23% of that in addition to my principal over this tenor. And the more fancy options are bonds. So bonds are like commercial papers, but they are long term. I think the shortest bond that I've seen are 3 years. You typically get 5, 7. Then on some special occasions, you get bonds as much as 10 to 15 years. So what that means is you put your money today and you're locked in for 10 years. However, with bonds, you get coupon payments. Coupon is the interest. You get interest on your money most times twice a year, every 6 months. And sometimes for bonds, you can get portions of your principal frequently, and sometimes you get your principal back end. Yeah.
Generally, having worked in different sectors of finance, what do you think Nigerians are lacking when it comes to their money?
I'll put it this way: there is a myth that you need to have a lot of money before you start playing in the capital markets. You need to have a lot of money before you start playing in the capital markets.
Oh, I feel the fifth. You know why I said I feel the fifth? Because I think it was 2 days ago, I was online and somebody said it's better for you to be putting your money small instead of putting 1 billion naira, bam. And then they tried to break it, but at some point I said, "Oh,
no, there is wisdom in that statement."
Okay,
there's big wisdom there. So, the most important skill sets you should have in engaging capital markets is financial literacy. It's knowledge. So, most times we wait till we have this big money. We're under pressure to use it. Then you just look for any opportunity. So start with your 5,000. Start with your 20,000. Start with your 100,000. If not anything, you're getting experience. You're understanding the instruments better. Okay, this is how this instrument works. The money comes in here. you pay this, you get this at the end of 6 months, you get it at the end of 1 year. Because the problem with investing sometimes, especially personal finance, is being able to tie tenor to when you need the money. So I've heard people say that these investment bankers, these stockbrokers, when you ask for your money, they will not now give you.
Yes.
It's not as if they don't want to give you. You signed all those dotted tiny lines, and you did
terms and conditions applied that was not explained.
No, so they are explained by regulation. The SEC requires that these disclosures are made, and in the prospectuses, in the fund documents,
In the clarity document.
yes, those things are there. They are there really. So most times, and it's always written boldly on top of the prospectus that speak with your stockbroker, speak with financial advisor to understand this well. So as I was saying,
Yeah.
so make sure in investing, you're saving for your rent, you're trying to invest, pick a tenor that works, that you get your money, say 2 weeks to when you need to pay your rent. Don't go locked in for 5 years and you're now looking for, I want my money. You understand? And yes, especially for the kind of products that you see in asset management classes, yes, you can get your money, but most times it comes at a fee. There's always a break fee.
Take that break fee.
Yeah, it's break fee. You broke someone's heart, you pay for it now.
No, no, I'm not paying for it. Now, I'm asking all of this because, like I earlier on asked, that we have money, we want to put it. Now, I have retirees listening to me. I have entrepreneurs and growing business owners listening. At what point, so there's personal finance, there's business finance, right? At what point, you're saying 5,000 naira, but you know, when you look at the 5,000 naira that you want to use, or the 10,000 or 20,000 naira, you're like, oh, we need this money for something. Why should I go and lock this money? And what will be my ROI on the 5K when I'm seeing 100 naira? There's one money market, I'm like, I need money. And that's why we blame the people who are doing MMMs and all of that, right? But I just feel that there's not an actual, like you said, financial literacy to be patient. Some of us are not patient.
Yes.
So go ahead, share with us.
Okay, so let's put it in two broad ways.
Yes.
Now, the first point is, as a newbie coming into investment, speak with someone.
When they cannot explain, you know, some people have sweet mouth.
What I think is the capital market in Nigeria has been very active for decades.
Yes,
for decades. So within your circle of influence, there's probably somebody that understands the products in the capital market, both money market and capital markets. Get clarity, ask questions, speak with someone. Very important. Now, the second part to it is start small. When you start small, you use it to understand the products, understand the markets, so that when that big money now comes, you know exactly what you want to do with it. Yet again, there is nobody with the totality of knowledge. Even when that big money comes, still make sure you speak, counsel, talk to people who you know have been very active in the market.
The military man said we should get counsel. Congratulations on being the MD of Zcrest. Well
Thank you.
done. Now, it's looking like, I said we have done nursery 1. We're now going to Harvard. Now, how do you've worked with millions and billions. Let me give it to you that just calm down. You're going to get there, right? Now, with people with the likes of the HNIs, millions and billions, when an HNI walks to you and says, oh, Ademola, what are we going to do with this money? Because I realize that there's money in Lagos, Nigeria, there's money in this country. But how to navigate that money that will give me patience and peace of mind?
Okay, so I'll speak on the last thing she said: patience and peace of mind.
Peace of mind is very important, because everybody says that your money work for you. Sometimes,
and this thing is risk and reward. You have to marry both. There are some less risky instruments in the financial markets, but may not be as rewarding as the more risky ones. Now, generally, the term securities or instruments issued by the federal government, you call them risk-free. And they're called risk-free because theoretically, the federal government can print money to pay you.
And they cannot collapse.
And they cannot collapse, right?
Yeah.
So they're called risk-free. In that category of instruments, you have treasury bills, you have government bonds, majorly those two. So those are instruments issued by the federal government. They are risk-free. Your returns are the base return. So every other corporate issuer will take the federal government rates, then add a spread or add a premium to it, then issue at that price. So definitely the federal government rate will be
Lower.
However, it is a peaceful.
It's a long peaceful.
Like you have said. So that is one.
For people who have high risk appetite,
Yeah, for people who have high risk appetite, then you have the full gamut of corporate issuances, and that spans from equity to fixed income instruments. Then a very interesting part of corporate finance I'll speak to, which is financial advisory and opportunities in non-publicly listed entities. So let's start with the publicly listed entities. So equities are generally more risky than fixed income. Fixed income instrument, like I said, you know what you're getting into. You see it's signed. This is the rates. This is the tenor. You know. Equities, on the other hand, you're taking a chance on two moving variables. First is capital appreciation. Capital appreciation means you bought this stock 10 naira over a period of time. There's likelihood that stock becomes 15 naira, becomes 20 naira. So that's capital appreciation. So there's returns in that bucket. Then there's also returns in dividends. When the company makes profits at the end of the year, the company declares dividend and share a part of that profit with you. So you have two stream of inflows when you do equity. Because it's not fixed, nobody's promising you anything. It largely depends on the fundamentals of the business. I mean, how good the business does that year, how profitable it is that year, and it also depends on macroeconomic conditions. Prices move
up and down.
So it's more risky. So if you put money in equities, you probably need one eye open to be checking every day and see how is this thing moving.
How do you sleep at night when you're working with people's money?
Well, there are guidelines, there are rules.
It's just business, Abi.
There are, how do I put it? The market has developed a lot, and kudos to the Securities and Exchange Commission, who are apex regulators of the capital market, to make sure you are following prescribed, laid down guidelines on what your role should be as issuing house, as fund advisors, as asset managers. So with all of those, and the SEC, men, they do the work. They make sure they put everybody in line. So once you're fine with the rules and the provisions or the guidelines of the SEC, then you're good. And it's clearly market is moving in a direction it's the market, like we were taught in school, is invisible hand. We don't know where that hand is. We shall know that
Trump is pumping it.
Things move.
Now, so I see some of my abros when they like to put their hands in stock, and sometimes when they put up their status that, let's say the man in America, right, has done something, the entire stock market is crashing out. And you're wondering, you will know one peace of mind for yourself.
Well, so
walk me through that, because I see that when the stock market, the international stock market crashes like this, it's almost like some people are making money off it.
Absolutely. So the world it's a global village. Like some people say.
All of us know that it's a global village.
So I think with the social media age and with internet, you can be in Nigeria, but you're affected by whatever is happening in so many other countries. So now most of the companies listed on the exchange probably import their raw materials, probably sell to export to those countries. Some of them rely on those countries for technology, for expertise. So whatever is happening in all those places,
it will
affect. We can't isolate ourselves. We can't isolate Nigeria. We can't isolate our capital market from the global capital market. And one very strong word that has a lot of impact on capital market is speculation. Speculation is this: variables moved, some things happen, and everybody's thinking, so what should I do? So people take speculative decisions, and it's people. You can't control everybody. It's human beings.
And then there is insider trading.
Let's not go there.
No, we're not going there. No, we're not going there. But when we speculate, I like what you said about the SEC, that they cannot. There is rules and regulations.
Yeah.
Right. But there was a time when they were always saying dollars. Put your money. Now, some people are now saying leave your money in naira, and it's confusing. So if I am confused as an outsider, how much more you all that are inside?
Yet again, that is a different market. So capital market is different from the FX market.
There was a time it was almost FX. Put your money in FX.
It's a different market. And like I always say, let me stay in my domain. No, let me stay in my domain, capital markets, and speak a lot about that more authoritatively.
Yeah.
When it comes to the FX markets, now there's a lot of things. There's political economy. There's many things that make that market move the way it moves, right? And so we don't deviate so much.
No.
Let's stay within this capital market space. So I spoke about now for HNIs and corporates.
Yes.
Apart from what you get on the what you get in the capital markets, equities and debts, there are also opportunities to use your idle cash to support or to get to invest in unlisted companies. Unlisted means they are private companies.
Okay.
Those private companies, they are not on the exchange. They are doing their business privately,
but they're safe.
But it takes a more expertise skill to do what we call due diligence. So you go most times it's a sale process. Most times it's a capital raising process for private companies where you have specified weeks or months to look into the company. You'd have your legal due diligence, financial due diligence, tax due diligence, corporate governance due diligence, sustainability, ESG. Just make sure you do all your due diligence.
ED. Yeah. Before the due date of your interest. The signals on 91.3, we're discussing making money work for you, what investment banking is all about, with Ademola Akogun of Zcrest. If you have questions coming, send us a WhatsApp message 0809-234-5913. If you have some monies waiting, instead of putting it in the places that you know that you have at attack, Ademola is here for you. Now, how should people think about risk before investing?
Classic case is risk and reward
Okay.
go in the same direction. Classic case. However, greed is another thing that is not in that graph, but is in human thinking.
Okay.
And I'm sure you're not hearing it for the first time. If it is too good to be true,
It's too good.
then it's probably not true.
It's probably not true.
Yeah. If it is too good to be true, then it's probably not true. So I think it's as simple as that. When you think about risk, know that the less the risk you want to take, most likely the less the reward you get.
Somebody's asking you, can I come from training? Now, at what point should someone move from just keeping money in the bank to exploring investment options?
At the point where you have disposable income that you don't need in 90 days. So when I say disposable income, at the point where you have money that you don't need to stay alive for 90 days, put it somewhere, make it work for you.
Now, earlier on, when I said, some people say be putting your money month by month instead of 1 billion, you said you agreed with it. But for example, there's 100,000 naira, somebody's salary, somebody has collected salary, they have paid all the bills and everything, and there is 1.5K that I'm supposed to go and use to enjoy myself. You say I should put it.
Delayed gratification.
Whoa!
Delayed gratification. This is a personal story.
Yes,
so, my mom, at some point, she was building our family property, and we got to the point of roofing. There was no money again. My mom just told my dad, don't worry, my lot has stock. So she went, took a portion of her stock, sold
Daddy
it.
took his portion of stocks. No, mommy.
It's mommy.
He was always making his sacrifice. Shout out to mom.
So mommy took a portion of the stock, sold it, and voila, she got cash, and we roofed the house. So these things really save you. It does. And most times, doing it small, when it now becomes crunch time, you have something to fall back on. That's and it's very important to think about it that way. Especially equities. Equities generally is a long-term play. You shouldn't necessarily be looking to come into equities and exit within 90 days. Stay the long term, go the long haul, and you give the stock enough time to grow. Yeah. So most times, and sometimes you've even forgotten it's there. You just check the app one day. And Zcrest app would always give you recent valuation, mark to market of what your portfolio is. You just say, this 5,000 has really become 100,000. And that time you realize that savings will now save you.
He said your savings will save you. Okay, now what mindset shift do people need if they truly want long-term financial growth? Because again, it starts with the mind. You told us delay gratification. Okay, we have delayed the gratification. We have put it on Zcrest app. We have locked it down. But I need money.
Start early. I think that's one mind shift. Start early. Start investing from the day you start earning money. And don't even wait to call it a job. You can start investing from your NYC Alawi. Start early.
NYC students are looking for you with side eye. You know how many things that they need to do with money.
Regardless, just delay the gratification sometimes and
so
start.
A little bit of 5K.
Yes. 5K monthly is 60,000 in a year. 6,000 in a year. You put it in an instrument that gives 20.
When did you start investing?
When did I start investing? So I think backstory. My mom was a banker. So I grew up in an investing home. So and I took interest in finance very early. So then the stock were not dematerialized; they were paper certificates like this. So my mom would get it and say, "Demola, buy me Demola, keep it here, write it down." So I got familiar with stocks. I knew my mom's portfolio in my head. I was personal. We used to do it together.
Stockbroker.
So so she would say, "Demola, if you have some money, bring it. Let me add it to this," like that. So I grew up learning how to put money in the market.
So now I understand why it's easy.
So now that you're a parent, make sure you also do it for your child, eh?
And so all those monies that they used to collect from us when we were children, they say they will keep for us, they not keep it for us.
And it's something I tell my friends. When you're doing the naming ceremony and your friends gather money and give you, put it in an investment for the child. You probably don't need it.
Husbands and wives
for the child, and just leave it there.
Okay.
That thing can pay school fees in 10 years' time. You don't know.
Signals on 91.3. We're discussing making your money work for you. Your 5K can work for you. The military man I have with me in this studio, because his name is Akogun, so
come after me.
They will not come after you. But that's beautiful. Working with your mom to be able to keep money aside. But is there a thin line between keeping money aside and being stingy?
Yes, there is.
Because every time you come and meet, guess you're married. So I'm sure that they will ask you, now say you're putting money aside. I'm like, okay, what's that?
So basic economics 101. There are three.
Did you study economics in school?
Yes, I did.
Voila, it's
basic economics. There are three reasons why you demand money. You demand money for transactional purpose, for precautionary purpose, and speculative. Very simple. Transaction is you need to enter motor to go to work. You need to enter. You need to be alive. Please don't save that one, because if you save it, I tell people that you don't joke with your health because you're trying to save money. You need to be alive to enjoy the benefits. So you need to eat, stay alive, wear clothes, take care of yourself health wise. 1. 2, keep some money for precaution. Anything can happen. you know you're in Nigeria. Then the kind of money that you can, I think, should be used for investment. Monies that you're settled livelihood, you've settled. You know, I think it's quite irresponsible to leave necessities and say you're saving. Pay your house rent. That house rent is income for your landlord. Don't be unfair. You know, pay your house rent. Those ones are necessities.
Very important.
Then the extra money is what you use to start building your investment portfolio.
Now, 2 years ago, I met with an accountant so we're friends. And this, at some point, I was like, so he gave me money. And this was, 2 years ago. And I said, why? Because I know the accountants can be very funny. So he said, I work with the REN principle. That is WREN principle, meaning wholly, reasonably, exclusively, and necessarily. And I'm like, so it was painful. I did understand him. But I'm like, so at what point do you move from is wholly, is reasonable, is exclusive to coming out, yes, we must save? Because sometimes, and then we're in this era where it's YOLO. You live only once. Where do we? Because you will say, Nigerians, you can be very profit and dividend, but you're like, we're not taking anything to heaven. What's the?
You see, so somewhere there's a balance. We only live once. Yes. However, you need to think of the quality of that life. Yes, there's quality of life. There is something called standard of living.
Standard of living, want to kill the living.
So yes, there is minimum requirements to live well, but there is also excessiveness. There is peer pressure spending. That's peer pressure spending. It's a real thing. You understand? Okay. There's a reason why I heard someone say, this person's probably worked for less than 3 years, and the person was saying, I want to get a car, and that car must not be less than five years old. So by 5 years old, it means that this is 2026. You want to buy a car that is 2021 model. I say, hey, what's happening here?
But the peer pressure is real.
It's real. But
very real.
The easy way to deal with peer pressure, you become the pressure. Just before pressure you.
Say it again for the one at the back. Shall I say clock it?
You need to you need to become the pressure, and it's understanding your own purpose. Really.
Let me make.
Tell me.
So a friend of mine called me and said, "You cannot kill your guy." I said, "I just got my." I know she actually saved for it, right? So I just got my S20. We Samsung lovers, right? So I just got my S26. And I remember sharing it with my ex. He only showed up around business. If it was real, right? And I'm like, I'm still waiting for S24. And she was like, and I remember telling my ex,
the thing is still making phone call.
You're still like,
you can still chat. You can still do.
No, but the pressure is real. The peer pressure is real. But now that you're saying we should become the pressure, pressure will just cost you.
No, it's simple. So becoming the pressure is really you making sure that you know what you're in for, what you're doing.
Okay.
There's something that I learned that most times it's the circle of life. In 10 years we're all fine.
Oh yes.
In 10 years we're all married. In 10 years we all have children. In 10 years we have all got cars. So sometimes that pressure,
and in 10 years something is not happening, nothing is happening.
You understand? So that pressure, we can find a balance. This okay, I have this plan, this is what I'm trying to do for myself, and I can delay this gratification. I think it's very important for young people to have that mindset. Very important.
So I have like 4 rapid questions. Are foreign investors still confident in Nigeria? Do you think so?
So, and there's plenty of schools of thought for this.
Share with us your own school of thought.
Yeah, a school of thought is there's some foreign investors that are less risk averse than some.
Okay.
The ones that have a higher threshold for risk are happy to still deal in Nigeria.
Okay.
Although with the recent
Back and forth.
crisis, in the
In the
Middle
Strait of
East.
Hormuz.
You understand? There's been that drive to move monies to what we typically call safe havens. But generally, the numbers are looking up. Growth rates of GDP and stuff. So yes, Nigeria still seems a good and attractive location for foreign investors in some category. Whilst there are some foreign investors that I would rather not, especially in the space where I play, uh, more investment banking, more corporate finance. You speak to some private equity investors and they tell you, oh, we've stepped down Nigeria from our investing locations. We are watching it. Maybe in 2 years' time we'll revisit that. So that there is that also. There are DFIs that also look at the space. They are more impact driven. They are more for, let's see what the impact of this funding would be to make that decision. A lot of DFIs still are happy to bring money into Nigeria. So I think it's half and half.
Half and half. Now, how important is storytelling when pitching deals to investors like me that want to come and invest my little 2K?
So if we put investment banking in the scale of skill sets, I think storytelling is one of the major skill sets of investment bankers.
You've been toasting me since I started this. So I'm like, okay, should I put my money on that?
So it's one of, and that is why companies get investment bankers. You appoint investment bankers to tell the story of your business to the general public when you're doing your public offers. If you're doing a more private deal, you get investment bankers to put together what we call an information memorandum. Put the facts of your company in a way that shows growth, that shows progress, and put it in front of investors. So storytelling is critical. Storytelling is not Lamba.
Okay.
No, it is not.
It's not Lamba.
It is
they say repeat it again. Repeat
No.
it.
Storytelling is a skill set. It is required to, and that's what we do. We help businesses, entrepreneurs tell their story to attract capital from both local and global investors.
What's the most challenging deal you've worked on, and what did it teach you?
So I can't disclose the most challenging deal for confidentiality issues, but I would put some things around it to make it
Go
clear.
ahead, please. Share with us.
You see, in this market,
He's out. That guy is out. Tell us.
in this market, you make phone calls, pitch the opportunity, and the investors, we call them guys on the buy side, asset managers, pension fund administrators, insurance companies, just general buy side.
Yeah.
You hear people tell you, don't worry, we'll do this. Don't worry, don't worry, just no problem, just give
me a call.
20% of the offer size, would do this. And you've got to go and sleep like. Then then you check back in 2 weeks. You're like, okay, so please fill the subscription form.
Sorry. Sneeze.
Then you just hear, so you won't be angry. So we may have to split this amongst 5 of you. Oh my God. It's not an interesting experience, but see, it's kudos to the investment bankers. The truth is, the space has matured.
Yeah.
There are lots of proper investment banks now in Nigeria. The competition is stiff.
People are plenty.
We are plenty now, and we are not just plenty as average. We are plenty with proper skill sets that we're able to compete globally.
Tell me about the one you closed. The one that finally said, okay, I'm giving you this money.
No, normal. There's always that.
You should have had go up. I've done it. Now, what should we expect of you as the new Zcrest MD of investment banking? Abdullah, well done, sir.
Okay, so great. And the way we say it internally as Zcrest is it's a new turn. It's Zcrest 2.0. And
A 2.0.
So what we're doing now is expanding what we've built so far. We've built this wonderful financial service group, but a lot of the appeal has been to the consumers, the personal finance side. So now we are layering on corporate finance so that we can offer services to large corporates, from capital markets, debt and equity, to financial advisory and infrastructure finance. So you would hear Zcrest a lot along these three spaces.
My market women. Don't leave all of those not masses, the moving parts that make our lives very easy. It would be nice to, because again, shout out to your mom, who did not just see you as a young person, but she's able to say, okay, I put my money here, and she's able to walk you through. So it would be very nice to have, because a lot of people used to focus on all the other. They're not giving people heartbreak. You're not coming and be looking for us.
Not Zcrest. You know, Oshodi, like I said,
romance me.
What we've done is to now layer on corporate finance to what is already existing. Okay. Zcrest is very big on financial literacy and personal finance. We have a full Zcrest Wealth, an asset management team, an asset management company. Group. Yes, that's still focused on financial literacy, making sure the word gets out there for individuals, and also provide institutions, you know, some support. But on the investment banking side, what we do, and this is how we see it, we may not be directly advising individuals, but we advise companies, help them issue securities that individuals can now subscribe to, individuals can buy as a way to invest their money. So somewhere we are still working for the individuals. Thank you very
much. Thank you for sharing your wealth of wisdom with us this morning on Signals. Thank you to Benedict, to Shola, to Jerry, to Abdullahi. I guess you did not move anything. Thank you. If you are looking for him, just Google him. His name is Ademola Akogun, and because somebody is asking, so are we going? He's not doing any training at the moment, but he will be available for questions and answers. Till we come your way again next week Saturday, like we always see on Signals. So I'll pick from his word. He said, "Become the peer pressure is real, but like AA said, become the pressure, so that when they come and say this, you just say I'm the pressure." Anyway, like we always see on Signals, stay alive. It's very important that we stay alive so that we can collect all of our dividends from them. Have a wonderful week and God bless.